He also states that Al-Kashi mentions Abdullah ibn Saba. Al-Tusi mentions Abdullah ibn Saba. Al-Shahristani mentions Abdullah ibn Saba. Point 1. Al-Shahristani is not of our scholars. There is a difference of opinion to whether he was Ash'ari, of the creed of the Ash'ariyah, or he was a Ismaili Shia. I do not take my religion I do not take my religion from a scholar, nor from especially from a Ismaili Shia. So Shahristani is out of the window. Do your research properly, come forward, and then we can talk. Do not just say, oh, he mentioned him. Mention what they say. Because the Abdullah ibn Saba that's within our books is different to the Abdullah ibn Saba that's mentioned in your books, the ones that are free of Sayf ibn Umar. It seems to be a completely different character. Al-Nawbakhti. Now I'm only going to narrate to you the words of Al-Nawbakhti and not Sa'd ibn Abdullah al-Qummi. Why? Because it is very similar. The words are more or less the same, if not the same. Why? Because even within the scholars of the Shia, there is a dispute to whether it was one book or two books. So was it Maqalat wal-Firaq or was it Firaq Al-Shia? And who did the book go back to, Nawbakhti or Sa'd ibn Abdullah al-Qummi? There is a dispute among the scholars. And the book itself is neither a hujjah upon us, neither is it authority on us. Why? Because it has no ahadith that are connected with chains. Now, some points that he puts forward are correct. For example, when he discusses the Batriyah, we can see that it is correct because when we refer back to the ahadith of Ahlul Bayt, you can see that there was a sect called Al-Batriyah. When he discusses, for example, the Kaysaniyah, there is some form of evidence within the history books and so on where you can find these points that are put forward in Firaq Al-Shia or Al-Maqalat wal-Firaq. So he states in page 67, Al-Nawbakhti is Firaq Al-Shia, or like I said, Sa'd ibn Abdullah al-Qummi. A sect from among them, which said Ali was not killed, so Saba'iyya, was not killed, nor did he die, and he will not die until he drives the Arab forth with his staff and fills the earth with justice and equality, just as it has been filled with oppression and tyranny. This was the first sect that spoke of withholding, waqf, after the Prophet, and the first of them that spoke with ghulu. And this sect is called the Saba'iyya, the associates of Abdullah ibn Saba. He used to disown or dissociate himself of Abu Bakr and Umar, Uthman and the companions, would free himself from them. He said that Ali commanded him to do so. Ali took hold of him and asked him about this saying of his, and he affirmed it. So he ordered that he be killed. But then the people protested, O Amir al-Mu'mineen, will you kill a man who calls to the love of the Ahlul Bayt, to your loyalty and dissociation from your enemies? So instead he exiled him to Al-Madain, a group from the people of knowledge, from the associates of Ali, the companions of Ali, judged that Abdullah ibn Saba was a Jew who became Muslim and showed loyalty to Ali whilst he was a Jew. He used to say the same of Yusha' bin Nun after Musa. He said also about Ali, as what he used to say. And in his Islam, Abdullah bin Saba would say the same of Ali alayhi salam after the death of the Prophet, with what is similar to that of what he used to say as a Jew. He was also the first to witness the saying of obligation of the leadership of Ali, and he openly announced his dissociation of his enemies and declared them disbelievers. It is from here whoever opposed the Shia said the foundation of rejecting is taken from the Jews. So rejecting Abu Bakr and Umar and so on is from the Jews. And then he continues, when Abdullah ibn Saba and his companions heard the announcement of Ali's death whilst they were in where they were exiled, Al-Madain came with Ali's brain. He states, he announced, so when they were there, if you have lied, O enemy of Allah, even if you came with brain in 70 bundles, and you tasked 70 just men to kill him, we would not believe you due to our knowledge that he has not died and was not killed, and that he will not die until he drives the Arabs forth with his staff and dominates the earth. Can the words of Al-Nawbakhti or Sa'd ibn Abdullah al-Qummi, can any of their words be found or proven from the books of the Shia? No. Just as I have read to you. There's also another source, by the way, in Al-Khisal by As-Saduq, where Abdullah ibn Saba is mentioned. He's not in the chain, he's in the matan. He's in the matan of the hadith. Sa'd ibn Abdullah al-Qummi was also known for something that was known among the scholars of Rijal. Al-Najashi in his Rijal, page 174, his name is Ibn Abi Khalf al-Ash'ari al-Qummi, Abul-Qasim, Sheikh of this sect, and its jurist and its face. He used to listen, so take, a lot from the common people, the Bakriya, those who call themselves Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. He traveled to obtain hadith, he met their scholars, and then he mentions the names of the scholars. Point forward, put by Najashi, we know that this Abdullah ibn Saba used to take much of the narrations of the Mukhalifin. And as you can see, the narrations of Abdullah ibn Saba, now I'm talking about Abdullah ibn Saba, the one that was involved or appeared in the time of Amir al-Mu'mineen. We have left the opinion of Sayf ibn Umar and his involvement, his magical involvement with the killing of Uthman, and then it is just one person that narrates it. We've left that opinion now. So Da'wah boy was still waiting for you to repent. My question is, if I was to turn around and say, Da'wah kid, come here. تعال اقعد. تعال اقعد هنا. Sit down. And I said to you, just for example, he didn't say it, I'm just using it as an example. Al-Albani, who you deem to be someone of authority, or someone that, let's say, of knowledge, a scholar, a alim. I said to you, Al-Albani states, Umar ibn al-Khattab is a homosexual. What would you say? You'd say no. The evidences, or let's just stick to one point actually. You would say that Al-Albani has no sufficient evidence, or that it is not found within the Kitab wa Sunnah where Umar ibn al-Khattab was a homosexual. That's the answer you would give. I say the same thing here. Sa'd ibn Abdullah al-Qummi, al-Kashi, al-Nawbakhti, their statement in which they have recorded, if it is their own words, I say their evidences put forward isn't sufficient enough. Just like sometimes I reject, for example, certain belief that was given by Al-Mufid, where he rejected he was unsure, in doubt about whether some of the Imams were actually killed or poisoned. Same thing here. The evidence is not sufficient enough for us to take it in. When are you going to learn? When are you going to learn? When are you going to learn, da'wah kid, that you have to use that which is authority upon me? Just like when Asrar Rashid and Abdul Rahman Hassan sat down, your teacher, Abul-Qasim, I like to call him. When they sat down, and what did they do? Don't bring me the opinion of Ibn Taymiyyah. Don't bring me the opinion of scholars. Kitab wa Sunnah. Perfect. Kitab wa Sunnah. What's it said in my books? In my books, Abdullah bin Saba, mal'oon, cursed. Al-Khoei in his Mu'jam al-Rijal. By the way, just to give you another example actually, Al-Khoei is one of the most revered and one of the biggest scholars within the Shia world in the last century. He states in his book Fiqh Al-Shia that Abu Bakr and Umar are not nawasib. So they didn't have hate towards Imam Ali alayhi salam or Ahl al-Bayt. Is the words of Al-Khoei something that we take to account? No, we say you're wrong. La, you're wrong. Al-Kitab wa Sunnah proves otherwise. It proves that they were nawasib, like it or not. So his words are rejected. We abide by أني تاركم فيكم الثقلين كتاب الله وعترة أهل بيتي. The Quran and Ahl al-Bayt. Bring me that and that. When are you going to learn how to debate or how to even discuss? It's like me coming to a Christian and saying to him, oh, but it says in Al-Kafi this. He doesn't care what's in Al-Kafi. Al-Kafi isn't an authority on him. Anyway, Al-Khoei says in his Mu'jam al-Rijal, volume 11, page 206. I say, after he mentions the hadiths of Abdullah bin Saba and the words of Al-Tusi and so on, and he mentions the last passage that I mentioned of Al-Kashi where he talks about the people, some people of the knowledge say this. He says, I say the inaccuracy in the saying of those who oppose the Shia is clear, that it stems from uptight blindness for the origin of Shi'ism, and rejecting is taken from Allah Azza wa Jal. Hey, yeah. Sayyid Al-Khoei ala al-Ras. Sayyid Al-Khoei here is sufficient from the evidence of Al-Kitab wa Sunnah that we take it. Yes, he's right here. Shi'ism and rejecting is from Allah Azza wa Jal, in which he has stated, your guardian can be only Allah and His Messenger, and those who believe, who establish worship and pay the poor due and bow down in prayer. And then he states, and the great Prophet Al-Rasul Al-Azam has stated, whomever I'm his master, here Ali is his master. O Allah, befriend whoever befriends him.